President Ilham Aliyev attended a conference summarizing the first year of implementation of the state program on regional development. Azerbaijan's foreign minister and OSCE mediators discussed settlement of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
We need to invest in infrastructure and real sector. However, as I have already noted, it's necessary to collect resources. So we did. On the one hand, we expanded our resources, and on the other hand, we have made investments. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev said at the conference on outcomes of the first year of implementation of the state program on socio-economic development of districts of the Republic of Azerbaijan in 2014 to 2018 at the Heydar Aliyev Center. The head of state said that countries which hadn't invested in the real sector infrastructure today regret it. We had to do everything on time, and we did it. Therefore, speaking today about the existence of the Azerbaijani model, we are not mistaken. There is such a model. It is interesting even for other countries. Speaking about the energy projects, President said that the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan, Baku-Tbilisi-Erzurum gas pipelines, Shah-Deniz, Tanap-Tab, the 1,000 gas corridor projects changed the energy map of the region and the Europe as well. These projects have been implemented in the last 9 years, he said. President Aliyev emphasized that Azerbaijan is again showing its leadership. If we hadn't assumed a leadership role, the 1,000 gas corridor project would have never been realized, he said. Moreover, the president emphasized that over the last 11 years, 1.36 million jobs had been created in Azerbaijan, and 1 million of them were constant. Thanks to the implementation of the activities, currently poverty and unemployment rate are at the level of 5%. The president also said that the leading rating agencies upgraded the rating figures of Azerbaijan. Davos World Economic Forum honored Azerbaijan at the 38th place in the world for economic indicators. According to the president, Azerbaijan does not depend on anyone in economic and political terms. We are well aware that the social sector can only develop when there is a strong economy. President mentioned some of the figures in this field. According to him, if in 2004 the average monthly salary in Azerbaijan amounted to $100, now it's $565. If the average monthly pension was $24, at the present time it is $221. President said that over the past 11 years, projects of social infrastructure have been successfully implemented. Summing up his speech, Mr. Aliyev said that impoverished, poor Armenia is not even a colony, it is not even worthy of being a servant. National dignity trampled by criminal junta, and the latest developments once again confirm this. Armenia is in a dire situation. This country has already proved that it cannot exist as an independent state. There are so many people who have no independence. If Armenia doesn't give up its dirty politics, they will be one of them, he underscored. The Foreign Minister of Azerbaijan, Elmur Mammadiyarov, and the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs discussed the ways of settlement of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, the Foreign Ministry said. The meeting was held in Krakow, Poland. Mammadiyarov and OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs James Wallick, Pierre Andrew, Igor Popov, and OSCE Chairperson in Office Personal Representative Andrei Kaspusyk exchanged views on the action plan for the upcoming period. Drawing the mediators' attention to Armenia's provocative actions, Mammadiyarov said that these activities are aimed at harming the negotiation process. Reiterating Azerbaijan's position towards the conflict settlement, Mammadiyarov stressed that first and foremost, the armed forces of Armenia has to be withdrawn from the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. During the meeting, the release of Azerbaijani hostages Dilga Maskarov and Shahbaz Goliyev were raised ahead of the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs. Recently, Turkish officials highlighted the necessity of Ankara's inclusion into the list of OSCE Minsk Group's co-chairing countries. Mustafa Kabakçı, a member of Turkish Parliament, the Grand National Assembly, said that Turkey's inclusion into the list of the countries co-chairing the OSCE Minsk Group can be a positive step in settling the Karabakh conflict and will have significant impact on resolving process of the long-lasting conflict. He said Turkey is a country that is aspiring to establish peace and stability in the South Caucasus. Several experts say the Minsk Group aims to win the support of the German government in settling the Karabakh conflict, as the mediation function of the co-chairs is not efficient. Peace talks mediated by Russia, France, and the US through the OSCE Minsk Group are underway on the basis of a peace outline proposed by the Minsk Group co-chairs and adopt the Madrid principles. However, the negotiations have been largely fruitless so far, despite the efforts of the co-chair countries over 20 years.
The fate of Dilgam Askarov and Shahbaz Guliyev, the two Azerbaijanis who are held hostage by the Armenian side, is a matter of serious concern for all Azerbaijanis today. The relatives of the hostages have been anxiously awaiting good news about their loved ones. The relatives of Dilgam Askarov, who was captured by Armenian servicemen in the occupied Kalbajar region of Azerbaijan in July 2014, get together every evening to support each other at this time of trouble.
Dilgam is suffering very much from the fact that his native lands have been under Armenian occupation for more than 20 years. Once in the summer, he woke up and said he had been seeing his late mother in his dreams for several consecutive nights, so he just couldn't take it and went to his mother's grave without telling anyone.
Dilgam's father is an elderly person. He is always tearful and cannot reconcile with his sons being away, says cousin Tohrul Mammadov. According to Mammadov, every day he asks when Dilgam would be set free and cannot console himself. There are 4 children and grandchildren of Dilgam who are waiting for him. Every evening, the Askarovs go through the photos reflecting this tall, robust man. With his kindness and responsiveness, he has earned the love of his relatives and neighbors who long for their native land. According to Rahilia Askarova, Dilgam's sister, they were born and raised in the Kalbajar region. She says her brother longed for visiting their native land, their village. When the Armenians occupied Kalbajar in 1993, they had to leave their home, leave the graves of their loved ones on that soil. To this day, Rahilia Askarova dreams about their home in the Shaplar village. Askarova said they are appealing to all international organizations, our president, requesting to return Dilgam Askarov home. According to Rahilia Askarova, Dilgam has written in a letter that he feels fine, but this is not plausible. When he was taken hostage by the Armenians, he weighed about 120 kilograms, but now he is only 50 kilograms. If he is treated well, then how can this be explained? Overall, how can a person who has been deprived of his native land for over 20 years feel good? For many centuries, Azerbaijanis have had a custom of visiting the graves of their loved ones on holidays, birth and death anniversaries. However, the Askarovs, just like many other families, have been deprived of this basic right due to Armenia's policy of occupying another country's territory. Dilgam Askarov has been in captivity for more than half a year, and only some news coming from him every now and then are keeping his loved ones from despair. Suleyman Askarov, Dilgam Askarov's brother, says Dilgam's family members are keeping in touch with representatives of the International Committee of the Red Cross, and they regularly receive letters from Dilgam. These letters give them some strength and hope. Though the Azerbaijani side is doing its utmost to achieve the release of the hostages, Azerbaijan needs support from the international community, which should take action to defend the innocent Azerbaijanis who became hostages of the separatist regime in Nagorno-Karabakh. Firuza Askarova, Dilgam Askarov's spouse, emphasized that Dilgam was taken hostage on his native soil in the occupied Kalbajar region of Azerbaijan. In Hankandi, the illegal regime in Nagorno-Karabakh set up an illegitimate trial over him. He had faced torture for many months. Askarova made an appeal to international organizations, asking how this could be possible. How can a person be detained only for trying to visit the grave of his mother in his native land, be tortured, and faced with an illegal court trial? Can't justice be delivered to the Armenian invaders? Kurdoglu Askarov, Dilgam Askarov's son, notes that if Armenia enforced the UN Security Council resolutions, the Kalbajar region of Azerbaijan would be long liberated, and we would not be facing this grief today. The Azerbaijani president raises the issue of releasing my father at all meetings and at all international events. On behalf of my family, I would like to thank President Ilham Aliyev for the care and attention paid to our family. But I am astounded by the reaction of the international community, more precisely, the lack of any reaction whatsoever. We have officially appealed to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the UN Committee Against Torture, the Baku office of the OSCE Minsk Group, and the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. There have been no results so far. Tell me, if visiting the graves of your loved ones in your native land is a crime, then it turns out that everybody around is a criminal, right? For more than 2 decades, the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has been unresolved due to Armenia's destructive stance. Over 1 million people became refugees and displaced persons in the aftermath of the conflict, which flared up in the late 1980s due to Armenia's territorial claims against its South Caucasus neighbor. Armenian armed forces have occupied 20% of Azerbaijan's territory, including Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 surrounding regions, in defiance of the 4 UN Security Council resolutions calling for their immediate and unconditional pullout from the neighboring country's territories. When will the invading country, Armenia, be punished for its atrocities, and how long will this blatant injustice persist?
The Defense Industry Ministry of Azerbaijan has increased its production volume by 26% in 2014 and achieved a growth in production on state order in 2014 compared to the previous year. Assortment of the domestic production of defense significance increased by 1.4%, while the volume of the manufactured and delivered defense industry products grew by 30% in 2014 compared to 2013. Defense Industry Ministry said in a meeting on the outcomes of 2014 that Azerbaijan's economy is progressing. The state budget is growing and the people's welfare is improving due to consistent measures on forming a diversified economy and realization of the state programs under the guidance of President Ilham Aliyev. The ministry said that Azerbaijan succeeded to demonstrate 132 products of defense industry significance in the DSA 2014 exhibition in Kuala Lumpur last year. The ministry continued its developmental work on 3 themes under the state order and engaged in work on 33 themes under the scientific surveys in the National Aerocosmic Agency. Last year, the ministry organized the first ever international defense industry exhibition in the region, ADEX 2014, that was also attended by President Ilham Aliyev. 200 companies and official delegations from 34 countries participated in the ADEX 2014. Some 168 types of defense products of the Ministry of Defense Industry of Azerbaijan were on display at the ADEX. The exhibition demonstrated the latest achievements of industrial enterprises, armament and military hardware of ground and naval forces, aviation and aircraft weapons, air defense systems and hardware, special hardware, information technologies, communication systems, administrative and technical supply of the army, and space technology equipment. Azerbaijan's expanding military budget has lifted it to the top among its neighbors in the South Caucasus. The country's military budget for 2015 is $5 billion, which is considerably more than the last year's $3.8 billion. Global Firepower, a center providing a unique analytical display of data concerning today's world military power, ranked Azerbaijan 50th among 106 countries in its most recent report, noting that the country can call upon hundreds of thousands of reserves. Azerbaijan views Israel as a very important ally and strategic partner. The head of the Public and Political Issues Department of Azerbaijan Presidential Administration, Ali Hassanov, said, the Israeli newspaper Jerusalem Post reported. He made the comments after a meeting with an Israeli delegation to Baku. According to the report, Hassanov said that ties between Azerbaijan and Israel will continue to develop and flourish. He said that Azerbaijan has relations with all countries of the world, according to its interests, including the countries that are rivals of one another. Hassanov pointed to Azerbaijan's ties with the US and Russia as one example, and its ties with Israel and Iran, as well as with Israel and Turkey. He further noted that among the reasons Israel is so significant to Azerbaijan is because it's a very important state in the Middle East and also because of its advanced technology. Hasanov said the ties are an outgrowth of a strong historical relationship between Azerbaijanis and Jews, with the Jewish community in Azerbaijan going back some 2,500 years. He said that Azerbaijan, a member of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, can be an example of an Islamic state that has good relations with Israel.
Petrochemical holding Petkim, owned by the State Oil Company of Azerbaijan, is in the process of obtaining a license for generating electricity in Turkey. SOCAR informed that with support of SOCAR Power, the holding is preparing a construction project on generation of electricity. So far, preparation of the environmental impact assessment has been completed. Also, the process of obtaining a license for the production of electricity is in progress. SOCAR Turkey Energy and SOCAR International acquired a 10.33% stake in Petkim on March 30, 2012, increasing SOCAR's stake in the company to 61.32%. Some 38.67% is in free circulation on the Istanbul Stock Exchange. Petkim Petrokimya Holding manufactures plastic packaging, fabric, PVC, and detergents, being the only Turkish producer of such products. The holding exports a quarter of its products. French ambassador in Baku, Pascal Monnier, has issued a written statement on behalf of the French government and the French embassy staff to thank for the letters of solidarity and compassion addressed to him from the day following murders committed in Paris. The ambassador said, "This murder was a deep grief not only for France, but also for every man and woman who respects the values of freedom and human being regardless of religious or political belief all over the world." After the announcement of the first murder, President Ilham Aliyev immediately sent a letter of condolences to French President François Hollande and to the French people. First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva sent flowers to the embassy to pay tribute to the victims. The Minister of Finance, Samir Sharifov, wrote expressions of support in the Book of Condolence on behalf of the government of Azerbaijan, and Deputy Prime Minister Ali Ahmadov attended Paris Republican March on January 11th with other political leaders in order to confirm the commitment of Azerbaijan to the fight against terrorism, statement reads. Islam was not the special target of the newspaper. French Prime Minister said in front of the General Assembly, the actions against Muslims will be strongly punished as the acts of anti-Semitism.